Ladies and gentlemen, after the age of 65, many people focus on blood pressure, cholesterol, heart health, and memory. These are important, yes. But there is another powerful predictor of how long and how well you will live that often gets ignored. It is not hidden in a complex lab report. It is not found in an expensive scan. It is something far more visible and far more practical. It is the strength of your legs. Doctors and researchers around the world have been studying aging for decades. One of the most respected institutions leading research on aging is the National Institute on Aging. Their findings consistently show that muscle strength, especially in the lower body, is closely linked to independence, resilience, and longevity. Weak legs are not just about difficulty climbing stairs. They are often a warning sign of deeper changes happening inside the body. As we age, we naturally lose muscle mass. This process is known as sarcopenia. After 60, this muscle loss accelerates if we are not actively working to prevent it. The legs contain some of the largest muscles in the body: the quadriceps, hamstrings, calves, and glutes. These muscles are responsible for standing, walking, balancing, lifting, and climbing. When they weaken, movement decreases. And when movement decreases, health begins to decline in ways many people do not expect. Think about what strong legs really mean. Strong legs mean you can rise from a chair without assistance. Strong legs mean you can walk to the market, visit friends, and move freely in your own home. Strong legs mean better balance, fewer falls, and greater confidence. When leg strength declines, daily activity drops. Less activity leads to poorer circulation, reduced heart efficiency, higher blood sugar levels, and increased inflammation. Over time, this combination creates the perfect storm for chronic disease. Doctors explain that leg strength is strongly connected to overall muscle mass. And muscle is not just for movement. Muscle acts like a metabolic engine. It helps regulate blood sugar. It supports hormone balance. It protects joints. It even supports immune function. When muscle mass shrinks, the body becomes more fragile. Recovery from illness becomes slower. Hospital stays become longer. The risk of complications increases. Research published in the Journal of Gerontology has shown that lower grip strength and lower body weakness are associated with higher mortality rates in older adults. While grip strength is often measured in clinics, leg strength may be even more important because it determines mobility. Mobility determines independence, and independence is directly tied to quality and length of life. There is also the issue of falls. Falls are one of the leading causes of injury and death in older adults. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention reports that millions of seniors experience falls each year, many resulting in fractures or head injuries. Weak leg muscles reduce balance and reaction time. A single fall can start a downward spiral, hospitalization, reduced movement, muscle loss, and loss of confidence. That spiral can shorten life expectancy dramatically. But this message is not meant to scare you. It is meant to empower you. The good news is that muscle is highly responsive to training, even after 65, even after 75, even after 85. Studies consistently show that resistance training can increase muscle size and strength in older adults within weeks. The body does not stop adapting just because we age. It simply requires intentional effort. Simple exercises can make a powerful difference. Chair stands, wall sits, step-ups, light squats, walking with purpose. Even gentle resistance bands can stimulate muscle fibers. When performed consistently, these movements send a signal to your body: stay strong, stay capable, stay alive. Nutrition also plays a role. Adequate protein intake becomes increasingly important with age. Many seniors unintentionally undereat protein, which accelerates muscle loss. Balanced meals that include quality protein sources help preserve lean mass and support recovery. The muscle connection is not just physical. Strong legs build confidence. Confidence encourages social engagement. Social engagement protects mental health. Mental health supports cognitive longevity. Everything is connected. So when doctors say weak legs predict shorter life after 65, they are not speaking in exaggeration. They are pointing to a simple, measurable truth. Leg strength reflects how active you are, how resilient your body is, and how prepared you are to face stress, illness, or injury. If you want to invest in your future, start from the ground up. Strengthen your legs and you strengthen your foundation. Strengthen your foundation and you protect your independence. Protect your independence, and you increase your chances of living not just longer, but better. Your legs carry you through life. After 65, they may very well determine how far and how long that journey continues. Thank you. When people think about living longer after 65, they usually focus on the heart, the brain, or avoiding major diseases. Very few immediately think about muscle. Yet muscle tissue plays one of the most powerful and underestimated roles in determining how long and how well a person lives. Doctors and researchers have increasingly emphasized that muscle is not simply for movement or appearance. It is a living, metabolically active organ that influences nearly every system in the body. The connection between muscle strength and longevity is not accidental. It is biological, measurable, and profound. As the body ages, it naturally loses muscle mass in a process known as sarcopenia. This decline often begins quietly in the 50s and accelerates after 65. Without regular resistance activity, adults can lose a significant percentage of muscle each decade. This loss does more than weaken the arms and legs. Muscle functions as a metabolic regulator. It helps the body manage blood sugar by absorbing glucose from the bloodstream. When muscle mass decreases, blood sugar control worsens, increasing the risk of type 2 diabetes and metabolic disorders. Stable blood sugar is directly linked to reduced inflammation and lower risk of cardiovascular disease, both of which influence lifespan. Muscle also plays a critical role in maintaining hormonal balance. Active muscle tissue supports healthy levels of growth factors and helps regulate stress hormones. When muscle shrinks, the body becomes less resilient to physical and emotional stress. Illnesses that might once have been minor can become major threats because the body no longer has the physical reserves to respond effectively. In medical terms, this reserve capacity is often called physiological resilience. Individuals with greater muscle mass tend to recover faster from surgery, infections, and injuries compared to those with low muscle reserves. Another key factor in the muscle longevity connection is mobility. Strong muscles allow consistent movement, and movement stimulates circulation, lung function, and joint health. Regular physical activity keeps the cardiovascular system efficient. When muscles weaken, activity decreases, leading to a sedentary lifestyle. Sedentary behavior has been linked to higher rates of heart disease, stroke, certain cancers, and cognitive decline. Muscle loss does not just reduce strength, it reduces opportunity for protective movement that sustains vital systems. Muscle tissue also produces signaling molecules known as myokines during contraction. These substances communicate with other organs, including the brain, liver, and immune system. Myokines have anti-inflammatory effects and may protect against chronic diseases associated with aging. This means that every time muscles are used through walking, lifting, or climbing stairs, they are sending protective messages throughout the body. In this way, muscle functions almost like a pharmacy within the body, releasing beneficial compounds that support long-term health. The immune system is deeply connected to muscle health. Aging is often accompanied by chronic low-grade inflammation, sometimes called inflammaging. Adequate muscle mass helps counteract this inflammatory state. Individuals with stronger muscles often demonstrate better immune responses, which lowers vulnerability to infections and complications. This becomes increasingly important after 65, when immune defenses naturally decline. Muscle strength can act as a buffer, reducing the severity of illness and improving survival outcomes. Bone health is another dimension of this relationship. Muscles and bones work together as a unit. Strong muscles place healthy stress on bones, stimulating them to maintain density. Weak muscles reduce this stimulation, contributing to bone thinning and higher fracture risk. Hip fractures in older adults are associated with significant mortality rates within the first year after injury. By preserving muscle strength, individuals indirectly protect their skeletal integrity and reduce life-threatening complications. The connection between muscle and brain health is equally significant. Physical strength often correlates with better cognitive function. Regular muscle engagement increases blood flow to the brain and supports the production of neurotrophic factors that promote neuron health. Older adults who maintain strength and mobility frequently experience slower cognitive decline compared to those who become frail. Mental sharpness supports independence, decision-making, and the ability to manage medical care effectively. Muscle mass also reflects nutritional status. Adequate protein intake supports muscle maintenance, and individuals who preserve muscle tend to have better overall dietary habits. Malnutrition accelerates muscle wasting and increases mortality risk. Maintaining muscle encourages attention to balanced eating, hydration, and overall self-care, reinforcing a cycle of health, promoting behaviors. Ultimately, muscle serves as both a marker and a driver of longevity. It reflects how active, nourished, and resilient a person is, and at the same time actively contributes to protecting vital systems. After 65, preserving muscle is not about vanity or athletic performance. It is about safeguarding independence, enhancing recovery capacity, stabilizing metabolism, supporting immunity, and sustaining the body's internal balance. The muscle-longevity connection reminds us that strength is not merely physical power. It is a biological foundation for a longer, more capable life. Mobility is one of the clearest indicators of how well a person will age after 65. It is easy to overlook the importance of simply being able to stand, walk, turn, bend, and climb stairs without assistance. Yet mobility is the bridge between physical strength and daily independence. When doctors assess older adults, one of the first things they quietly observe is how easily the person moves. The speed of walking, the steadiness of balance, and the ability to rise from a chair without using the hands can reveal more about long-term survival than many laboratory tests. Mobility reflects the combined health of muscles, joints, nerves, heart, and lungs. It is not just about strong legs, it is about coordination, endurance, and balance working together. When mobility declines, daily tasks become harder. Activities like grocery shopping, cooking, bathing, or visiting friends start to require assistance. With each limitation, independence shrinks. And when independence shrinks, overall health often follows the same downward path. Loss of mobility frequently leads to reduced physical activity. When moving becomes difficult, people naturally avoid it. This avoidance accelerates muscle loss, stiffens joints, and weakens the cardiovascular system. Circulation becomes less efficient. Oxygen delivery to tissues declines. Blood sugar regulation becomes less stable. Over time, this cascade increases the risk of heart disease, stroke, and metabolic disorders. What began as slight stiffness or mild weakness can evolve into a serious health threat. Independence is closely linked to psychological well-being. When individuals can move freely, they maintain control over their schedules and choices. They decide when to leave the house, whom to visit, and how to spend their time. Mobility supports dignity. When mobility fades, dependence on others increases. This dependence can lead to feelings of frustration, isolation, and even depression. Mental health struggles can reduce motivation to stay active, creating a cycle where emotional decline reinforces physical decline. Doctors often measure walking speed as a predictor of longevity because it integrates so many systems at once. A steady, confident gait suggests adequate muscle strength, good balance, healthy cardiovascular function, and intact neurological control. Slower walking speed has been associated with higher mortality rates in older adults because it may signal underlying weakness or chronic disease. Mobility becomes a living report card of internal health. Falls represent one of the most serious consequences of reduced mobility. When balance and strength decline, the risk of falling rises dramatically. A fall can lead to fractures, head injuries, and hospitalizations. Recovery from these events is often prolonged in older adults, especially if baseline mobility was already limited. Extended bed rest during recovery accelerates muscle wasting and increases the risk of infections and blood clots. One fall can trigger a chain reaction that permanently reduces independence. Maintaining mobility requires consistent engagement of the body. Regular walking stimulates circulation and joint lubrication. Strength exercises preserve muscle mass. Balance training sharpens coordination and reaction time. Even small daily habits, such as taking stairs when safe or standing up frequently instead of sitting for long periods, reinforce the body's capacity to move efficiently. The human body adapts to what it practices. If it practices stillness, it becomes fragile. If it practices movement, it becomes resilient. Mobility also affects access to healthcare and community resources. Individuals who can travel independently are more likely to attend medical appointments, participate in social activities, and maintain support networks. Social engagement itself has been linked to longer life expectancy. When mobility limits social contact, loneliness can increase, and loneliness has been associated with higher rates of chronic illness and cognitive decline. Joint health plays a role in sustaining independence as well. Conditions such as arthritis can discourage movement due to pain. However, carefully guided exercise often reduces stiffness and improves joint function over time. Avoiding movement because of discomfort may provide short-term relief but usually leads to greater long-term limitation. Maintaining mobility requires a balanced approach that respects the body's signals while still encouraging safe activity. Ultimately, mobility is freedom expressed through motion. It represents the ability to participate in life rather than observe it from the sidelines. After 65, the capacity to move confidently supports physical strength, emotional stability, and social connection. Independence is not preserved by chance. It is maintained through consistent care of the systems that allow movement. When mobility is protected, independence stands strong. When independence stands strong, the foundation for a longer and more fulfilling life remains firmly in place. Strength is often misunderstood as something reserved for athletes or the young. Yet after 65, it becomes one of the most critical determinants of survival. Physical strength is not about lifting heavy weights for competition. It is about maintaining the capacity to perform essential movements that protect health, prevent injury, and support resilience during times of stress. The strength a person builds and preserves today directly shapes how well their body will respond to challenges tomorrow. As the body ages, physiological reserves naturally decline. The heart pumps less efficiently, lung capacity may decrease, bone density can thin, and muscle mass gradually reduces. These changes are part of normal aging, but the rate at which they progress varies greatly between individuals. Strength training and consistent physical activity slow these declines by stimulating the body to maintain functional capacity. When muscles are challenged, they adapt by becoming stronger and more efficient. This adaptation enhances circulation, improves oxygen use, and supports metabolic stability. Survival in later life is closely tied to resilience. Resilience refers to the body's ability to withstand illness, recover from injury, and adapt to unexpected stress. Individuals with greater muscle strength tend to have higher resilience. During hospitalization or acute illness, muscle acts as a protective reserve. The body draws upon protein stores within muscle tissue to support healing and immune response. Those who enter illness with low muscle mass often experience faster deterioration because they lack this reserve. Strength also protects against frailty, a condition characterized by weakness, slow movement, exhaustion, and vulnerability to minor stressors. Frailty increases the likelihood of falls, disability, and hospitalization. It is one of the strongest predictors of mortality in older adults. Building and maintaining strength reduces the risk of becoming frail by preserving mobility, balance, and coordination. Even moderate resistance exercises performed consistently can significantly improve muscle power and functional performance. Balance and strength work together to prevent accidents. Strong leg and core muscles stabilize the body during movement. Quick reactions and muscular control can prevent a stumble from becoming a serious fall. Injuries from falls, particularly hip fractures, often mark a turning point in health for older adults. Recovery can be long and complicated, and some individuals never regain their prior level of independence. By strengthening muscles today, the risk of such life-altering events tomorrow decreases substantially. Strength contributes to cardiovascular health as well. Resistance exercises improve blood vessel function and help regulate blood pressure. Active muscles absorb glucose efficiently, reducing strain on the pancreas and lowering the risk of type 2 diabetes. Stable blood sugar and blood pressure reduce damage to vital organs over time. In this way, strength training supports not only musculoskeletal health, but also heart and metabolic health, both central to long-term survival. The psychological dimension of strength is equally important. Physical capability fosters confidence. When individuals feel strong, they are more likely to remain active, social, and engaged with their communities. Social engagement has been associated with improved mental health and lower mortality rates. Strength allows participation in family activities, travel, and hobbies that enrich life. This engagement supports cognitive stimulation and emotional well-being, both of which influence longevity. Building strength does not require extreme effort or complicated equipment. Bodyweight exercises such as chair rises, wall push-ups, and gentle squats stimulate major muscle groups. Resistance bands and light dumbbells can progressively challenge muscles without excessive strain. Consistency matters more than intensity. Muscles respond to regular stimulus, even in advanced age. Studies have demonstrated that individuals in their 70s, 80s, and even 90s can gain measurable strength with structured training. Nutrition supports this process. Adequate protein intake provides the building blocks necessary for muscle repair and growth. Combined with strength exercises, proper nutrition helps preserve lean mass and maintain energy levels. Hydration and balanced meals further enhance recovery and overall function. When strength training and nutrition align, the body becomes better prepared to face medical procedures, infections, and the natural stresses of aging. Strength today represents preparation for the unknown challenges of tomorrow. Illness, injury, or unexpected life events may arise, but a strong body stands a better chance of enduring them. Strength builds a foundation that supports independence, protects vital systems, and enhances the capacity to recover. After 65, every effort to maintain and improve physical strength is an investment in survival. The work done now determines the resilience available later, shaping not just the length of life, but the quality of the years ahead.